2, 1. We're live. As we're just talking behind the scenes. What's up, nerds? Welcome back to another episode of the Aggressively Average English podcast. We are here with the person that I am the doppelganger for. I was going to say like my doppelganger.
I'm posting that video
inappropriate
tomorrow.
Yes.
And yes, doppelganger is wrong. That's the wrong term.
I am the doppelganger of this situation. But we have Debo's Fishing on with us tonight. Debo, what's up, buddy? How you doing?
Not much. I am doing very well. Thanks for having me on tonight.
Absolutely, man. We've been looking forward to this since the last time you were on. I feel like every time it's just an absolute blast. It has. Surprisingly enough, it has been a minute. Also, we were complimenting your hat behind the scenes, and I'm sure that the folks dig that Missile Baits hat as well. So
I like it.
Yeah. Pick it up.
I'm going to hold you guys accountable here online. You need to pick a date so you can get on my Saturday Night Live. So get that figured out, nerds.
You need to, your logo for your show needs to change to the Saturday Night Live, but it's like Debo's Night Live, and it is on a Saturday.
Debo's Night Live.
Dude.
Saturday Night Fever.
Come on.
Saturday night's all right.
Come on.
That's
so many entendres.
Yeah. I mean,
layers. I like a joke with layers, baby.
I like a joke that goes in circles, like it comes back around, you know what I mean? Concentric circles, ideally. All right, so you guys, we're gonna have an absolute blast tonight. We've got some hot topics, some hot goss, just like hot things going on.
A wall of shirts.
A wall of shirts. Yes, it's the Hot Topics store special. So hot topics for the night that we're going to be chatting about, and there are hot topics in the fishing industry right now, things that people are talking about, and we're going to give our opinions, Spaceman. Also, just quick heads up before we go into the show itself and our Q of the D and all that. We do have a members only live coming up on March 11th. Had a bunch of members join last episode, so welcome aboard, and we'll expect to see you guys on March 11th. It's a Tuesday. It's 8:15 p.m. Eastern, and we do some special giveaways on that. All right, let's get to it, shall we? Q of the D, Paul.
Business. So Q of the D this year. Well, at the end of like a year, we always do like our year in review. We talk about our hot takes for next season. We talk about the hot baits from the prior year. Yada. Well, one thing we didn't talk too much about was like, what is 2025 going to be like the year of? Like, what's going to be the theme? Right? Like 2 years ago, it was like, knockoff baits. And it was like forward-facing sonar. And then it was like, for a while, it's kind of like BFS a little bit. But I'm like, what? Yeah. Like, what is going to be like the general vibe, like the theme of 2025?
What's the vibe?
What's the vibe?
The vibe is no forward-facing sonar, bro. Like, people are out on that forward-facing sonar. I don't know. Debo, what do you think the vibe is, the theme this year?
That's what I'm trying to think. I think there's still going to be a large portion of forward-facing sonar. I think that's still going to be getting crammed down our throat. I don't know.
Well, they're making me want to get this thing. I don't get it.
I would put forward. I was doing some thinking about this. Searching the soul. I think it might be, weirdly enough. I think like JDM. I think this is the year that JDM like
the actual JDM,
like people start recognizing actual JDM, like
not Rapala JDM.
Like real JDM. Actual like JDM. Like I think this is the ramp up of like people recognizing that this is going to come back later, but like they are so much more creative when it comes to making baits than we are. That's not even close. And I think people are going to start to give it the credit that maybe they deserve.
Okay,
that's mine. I could see more companies going to their own almost JDM type stuff, like trying to come out with, whether it be copies or things that they feel are JDM-ish. But I also think I saw Bait Finesse was in the chat. What's up, guys?
Yeah.
I think, which is one thing that Amir talked about on that live, and I've seen it now. When he said it clicked. Is what do they call it? Heavy bait finesse or something like that.
Like power finesse.
Power bait finesse.
Finesse.
I think we'll see more of that kind of stuff, like the in between. Which I was really happy he took over and said of, given the whole background, clearly he's a nerd on all that stuff, but kind of in the middle of it's the bass fishing, kind of the equivalent in the middle range. It's not this ultralight 186th. I was kind of happy to hear him say that, because that's kind of always been my take all along. Is I didn't really buy into it until I started using it for like downsized bass stuff. And that's where I've had the most fun. So I think a lot of people have this misconception that BFS has to be like this little tiny 1/800th ounce jig with a 2 millimeter plastic, and it's really not. So
I think I said it on the show. Like my favorite thing
doesn't
is
have to be.
No, not at all. Is the the moderate light, or even like moderate medium bait caster is so much fun. Like
and underrated and overlooked.
1000%. 1000%.
That said, I have a blast with like 3/16 to quarter ounce on BFS as well, and throwing pocket frogs. Like little frogs on BFS is one of the coolest things I've ever done.
I draw the line there. That's blasphemy. Oh, you mean pocket spiders? Throwing pocket spiders on it?
Specifically pocket spiders.
1-inch spider.
We're gonna have to go dig back to the archives and break that back out.
I did see. Did you guys see the Lunker Hunt one? Lunker Hunt came out with a new one, and I almost posted them like I already know the Burley Boys.
A new spider?
What is it? A new spider?
6,000 these. It's not like it's like a soft plastic. It looks pretty cool, but
that's cool.
Yeah, it. I was cracking up the other day, and I forgot I was working.
I'll take 10.
I'll take them. Load me up. Well, Jeff, what about you? What's yours?
I'd go year of the real. We'll call it the real JDM. Last 2 to 3 years was a year of the knockoff JDMs, and people weren't having it. Nobody was fooled. Yes, they bought it, but they were like, "Come on." So at least they were calling companies on it. But this is the year. Like I saw somebody put TW has OSP now.
Yep, that's new for like right now.
Yep, OSP is on there. There's a few other things that were on there that I remember. So like the what's the topwater thing we got? Evergreen topwater that we got, Paul. I forget what it's called.
Oh yeah, the little bug looking thing. Yeah,
that's on TW now. We bought it on Digitaka. Like it's becoming more available on those platforms, which is cool. So I'll go JDM. You know, cheers to them. They make some really cool freaking baits coming out of JDM stuff.
Was it the Makana or not Makana? That's the kayak. What's the
Makon? Is
the Makon? Oh my god, Debo!
It fully rolls. It's so wild.
It's insane.
The middle joint is a swivel. Debo,
is a swivel, a giant swivel.
Yeah. I was not ready for it. It's got a lip as well. We're gonna be testing it out, but yeah, we did a little Digitaka order, and we got like the Shimano Scorpion DC and a bunch of JDM specific baits that like we couldn't find here. And then I saw a few of them on TW like the week later. I was like, oh, okay. Cool.
I like the JDM stuff I don't know if it was same for you guys or how you felt, but for the longest time, I never got into it just because of like the JDM snobs that are like, oh, I don't throw anything domestic. Only, and I'm like, that's why I never bought Japan for so long. Yeah. Or Japan. God damn it. Shimano. Well, I never bought Shimano for so long because people.
Well, they do. They poo-poo the heck out of it. It's so annoying. Like it's not even fun.
It's like Shimano, Daiwa, or everybody else versus Shimano and Daiwa. Like, you really can't. They do. Yeah. They really do, man. I
is like annoying though when you run across like the elitists of baits, and you're like,
snooty snobby boys.
I just want to have fun. Yeah, you're right. I believe you 100%. All right, I'm on board. That bothers me to no end. We don't like to gatekeep. Everyone gets to have fun. All right, let's get into the show me. So I just have a list of just like prompts, and then that's
things that we
open for discussion. So everything I have here is a hot take. It's meant to make you everybody uncomfortable. Someone's gonna be mad. And that's fun. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna have fun with it. Debo's like, I quit. Hang up.
I don't like confrontation.
Oh no, my connection error. Like, all right. So here we go. For prompt number one, just put out into the ether for discussion. Knockoff baits are killing the fishing industry. That is something that has been said many times.
So we're gonna say true or not true?
Yeah, sure. Open for discussion.
Killing the fishing industry? Absolutely not. Like no. Annoying many people in the fishing industry, yes. and like making people lots of money, also yes. Like
and like losing people money.
And potentially, I don't know how much of an impact it's really having. I don't know. Like I know we can sit here all day and be like, okay, you take like the flag glide bait versus the Nessie. Yeah. And you're like, did they take all that business from Flag, or has Flag been like marketing to a different niche that is cool with spending $100 on a soft plastic bait?
Yeah, Dakota just said, it says knockoff baits just make the good baits sell better.
Yeah, and then those people, the purists, are like, no, this is the original. And then somebody in that comment section is gonna go buy that original now, and they didn't know about it before. They know about Berkeley, everybody knows, but like they didn't know about this small Japanese brand, and now they do. So it's annoying. Yes, I don't like when people rip other people off, but it's definitely
feels dirty.
It feels dirty, but it's not destroying the industry.
No. What do you think?
It just kind of sucks.
Yeah, this horse has been beaten pretty resurrected and
beat
then
it some more.
Again,
Black blue recovered and now it's back.
And then
do it again.
Cloned and then they beat that clone to death.
They beat the clone.
Hey.
No.
Hey. Yeah, so, I mean, it's capitalism at its finest, right? Like if we said one ringtail worm ever, there'd be no more. If
it's true,
you know, it's people don't think about it in day-to-day stuff. Like when's the last time you bought like actual Duracell batteries? You know, if I'm out and I just need batteries, I'll buy something, right? Is that not?
Baby, all
Amazon
I mean, factory.
So I don't know, especially when they make like some small adjustments that even made it better. But you know, when it's an exact knockoff, it's like, yeah, I agree. I feel dirty. Do I think it's wrong a little bit? Yeah, but I get where the companies, especially like on the JDM stuff, when you can't get it and it's crazy expensive and it's never in stock. You can't find, like you can't get mad at. Oh, that is not true.
Savage
These
comment
guys,
of all time.
No,
Got
no,
him.
no. These guys,
like two knockoffs in one. Like, what are they doing?
No,
we had to double down, and we still.
So the comment for all of you who are listening and not watching is Kirk Blackdar says, "AAA, that would be us." It's knockoff of Debo's fishing.
That's all right. It all depends on the audience. I got called a knockoff tactical bassin by some guy that has like 500 subscribers on his YouTube channel.
Every channel.
He was from Iowa. That's the BS
that's
part.
Messed up,
yeah, I'm like, dude, we could be bros.
We're supposed to be Iowa bros.
Yeah, we can show you all the.
I feel like
all the honey holes.
Everybody, if any like fishing YouTuber, any YouTuber like reviews products in the fishing industry, they're gonna be considered a knockoff of Tactical Bassin. Like there's like no way around it, just because they're so notable at this point. It's like, oh, nobody else can look at gear and talk about it. You're right. You're right. You got it.
Sorry, giving an everyday guy's take on it.
Yep. Yeah. That's whatever. That's the internet, man. The internet's undefeated. That's how it works. It's all good.
Tim, if you don't have haters, you're not doing it right. So we're doing it right, both of us.
Yeah, exactly. I also like I saw a quote today that was like, I'm not going to I'm not going to be like upset about something if somebody talks trash about me if I wouldn't take advice from them. Like, I'm not going to take that personally. If I wouldn't take advice from you, I'm not going to listen to the trash that you spew at me.
We've been around long enough that our skin's far too thick for, like, when you guys sent me that one of what they said on your video, I was freaking cracking up, dude.
Which one? What was it? Many.
It wasn't appropriate, so we'll leave it. But I was cracking up when you sent it. People are just like, the fact that people sit around there like,
what was the one that we just got?
I'm gonna type this.
Right. Oh, 100%. No, the best one recently was when somebody commented like, how often do you and Paul kiss? And then Paul just responded.
That was the one. Yeah, that was the one.
Paul's like, how often do you think about it?
Yeah, how often do you? And I was like, dude, nailed it.
Brutal. What a weird thing to think about. You just want two men on screen. You're like, strange. I bet they kiss.
I bet these guys
are they kissing?
Why aren't they kissing yet?
But why? I don't know. We didn't need that, and we don't need that guy. All right, that's a good. All right, so that gets us kicked off. Number 2. This one is like, what are some of the most annoying things that frankly, I do the same thing that people say when fishing? I will give you some examples.
Oh,
like when you're having a bad time and things aren't going well, and someone's like, "Oh, the thermocline is, it's off today," or it's like, "We had a high pressure system come through yesterday."
Excuses?
Which
hey, I need all those I can get,
but it's still annoying. As hell. Or what about even, I know this is something I say all the time that bothers me. Whenever I catch a fish, 99% of the time, I say, got him. I don't know why. There's no reason for it. Got him. It makes me.
It annoys me when you say that, Paul.
It annoys me when I say it. I don't like saying it, but my body's like, oh, got him.
Stop it.
Shut up. So yeah, what else you got?
when you're like the other person fishing and you're not catching, and then that other person's like, got him, and you're just like, all right, honestly, I'm gonna go to the other end of the lake. I don't want to be near you.
Did you get him? Did you get him?
I'll tell you what you got. You got a hole in your kayak. You're going down. That's what I feel. Oh man, Debo, what are some annoying things that you hear?
Gotten annoyed.
Debo's just a chill guy.
Usually, like with stuff like that, it doesn't bother me. Yeah. There have been a couple times I've definitely been pissed off on the water. I remember there was a day Dizzle was out and just whacking fish left and right on a jig, and he finally asked me if I wanted to hold one of his fish. He's like, "You want to at least hold one and take a picture or something?" And I was like,
"Oh, bro!" I thought he was going to offer up a jig, which is also when they're like, "Hey, do you want to use the jig I'm using?" That hurts too.
Yeah.
But why?
Because of the fact that if you take it and you can't catch anything on it, you know it's you, then you're like, never.
Exactly. Paul and I do that all the time. One of us isn't catching, and we're like, "Do you want like this specific lure?" And the other person 100% of the time is, "Nope, absolutely not." I don't think we've ever been like, "Yeah, sure, we'll do that." Davin in the white truck.
Davin.
Is it Dav? Maybe Davin, like Craven.
Davin.
Steven the Hunter.
He goes up. David.
No,
is that
David?
Randall?
David. Like,
name is Christian. Oh. I would say at least 6 out of 10 emails that I get per day is titled "Hi Christian."
Oh, that's tough with the first name thing. That's tough.
Yeah.
I don't know why people don't understand how email works, but that's weird. So someone goes on here and says, I hate it when people say, "Do you really need all those rods?" That is annoying. Very annoying. I would also add, just buy a boat, or why don't you buy a boat? That will never not be annoying.
It's the worst. Just buy a boat is the worst.
I must not have the kayak haters yet.
God, good for you.
You'll get
good
there.
You.
Don't you worry. They'll come for you.
Hold on. What about most annoying comment to get? I'll tell you mine. No, it's not even close. It's this comment, 6 miles, and then all of the other ones is how much. Every time someone comments on YouTube, it says how much on whatever thing you've posted. How much? What's the price?
Yeah.
I literally am like, you typed all the letters necessary to go find it yourself. Why are you asking me?
I am typey to
what
Google.
What are we doing here, guys?
I would 100% hard agree with that one, as well as where do I get?
Yeah.
Where do I get is my next favorite.
Fair enough. Okay, those neck and neck.
And the funny thing is, half the time we've said the price and where you get. they're just like, wait. I didn't finish the video. Where I
go to hobbyfishingsunglasses.com. Where? How much?
Hobby?
What are those things? Can you tell us about the things that you're holding right now?
Sunglasses.
You've said nothing.
What about you, Debo? What's a comment that you get and you instantly are like,
Yeah, what's your least favorite comment that you see?
Was that Jeff?
It's always me, by the way.
What happened to Paul in your videos?
I didn't know you guys broke up. I thought you were still together.
Thought you were still kissing.
I thought you guys were still kissing and stuff.
Why'd they stop kissing?
I don't know. I do see those. Those I just kind of chuckle though. Where do I get it? How much? And then I literally just told them about the whole thing.
Exactly. Every time, dude. Every time.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have anything that consistently comes up. I used to get in a strange turn of events. I used to get asked if my beard was fake quite a lot. There was actually this did come up like I don't know 3 weeks ago. Old video when I used to sit on the other side of the behind me, like old. And he said I can't stand watching. Can see through his beard.
When you can see through his beard.
The way I had the light was like right like this, like see through. And
it's so bad it's breaking his internet right now.
And that's all like beard, and I'm like, oh man. Because
this commenter is crushing his internet at the moment. That Iowa internet, brother. We're losing you.
There you go.
Uh-oh. Beep boop bop boop.
Iowa, the rain and snow.
Well, yeah. we had quite a bit of snow over here. It was pretty rough. It was like a blizzard today. Terrible. Can you hear us?
We got him back 90%. Yeah. There he is.
It got rough there. But anyways, you were telling the lovely folks at home that people don't like your transparent beard.
When there's a lot of light.
Yeah.
When there's a lot of light, that makes it look more transparent.
Partially see through some of my beard. So
the stuff people pick up on is insane to me. I'll never understand it.
What's all right. My favorite right now, Paul, is the Jeff wears tight t-shirts. And I don't like it. that is my current favorite one is the video. I wear XLs, bro, and like I'm wearing an XL, and they're like, "Why is this guy always wearing a medium?" And I'm like, "All right, okay. Does it bother you? Like, are you okay?"
It does, and that's what's so weird about it. Have you ever in your life been like, "Oh, that guy's t-shirt's too tight. I should make a comment about it on the internet to him"?
Bro, if you're not going to roll up
comment to though, like in real people goes tell, like guys.
Yeah. Sure, but I'm not gonna like, you need to know. Beep, boop, bop,
I'm gonna go tell you.
Yeah. Like, what the?
I'm gonna handle this. The old knuckle crack, and then you go hit him up.
So weird. All right, next one up. Yep. I like this question a lot, actually. This was the first one. The question is, the prompt is BFS or bait finesse ever the right tool for the job?
Ooh.
Like truly, like this is only the right tool. My answer, after doing it for a while, would be 100% yes. There is a scenario, and it's not like casting 1 gram like that. That's not the scenario. Yeah. I would say yes.
I think Debo, you were saying
after
yes,
I absolutely agree because down spinnerbait on a BFS reel. Am I still choppy or no?
You broke up for a second, but
I think we got you.
But then we got you back.
Even try again. Am I okay?
You're okay now.
Okay.
Don't move.
Certain times, yes.
Yeah.
Break. Damn it.
Oh no. Go slap that router. There he goes.
There are times though, and I think I mean, bottom contact is great with a spinning setup, but they're usually way too soft. And when they're way too stiff, like you do not get the action that you need. And BFS is great because you get like way more backbone, like at the bottom of the rod, but you get all the sensitivity and whatnot out of the BFS. And I do think there are times when I've been like, man, I wish I had.
Yeah. I feel the same way. There's been situations where I think Amir was talking about it just the other week, right? Was that last week? It's been this last week has been a year, you guys, to me. Things have been going down. But when Amir was talking, he was talking about just like quantity of casts, for example, is like I can easily do that with the BFS and feel good about it. With the spinning reel, you can do all those things, and there's more mechanical functions going on that aren't at the same speed. So we're not going to talk about like gear ratios and line pickup and like castability distance and all that stuff.
No.
Yeah.
But like crankbaiting, like it's so much more efficient and you get way more response out of the rod, out of a BFS rod than you do out of a spinning rod. Even the mediums and like the medium fast and stuff, it's not the same. Also, Patrick Marbury over here just had the brain door opened on it, which is awesome. But yeah, I think that it's honestly like, because we used to be like very much like the ultralight guys, right? For a while, and I only bring my ultralight like 30% of the time, and like 70% of the time I'm grabbing a BFS.
I'm grabbing the BFS now. Yeah, 100%. Like we made an ultralight, and we don't grab that as often as we grab a BFS that doesn't have our name on it. So yeah, I mean, I feel like there definitely is there is a right situation for that, for sure. So
I would agree, and I can see why people would say no, because if you haven't done it, how would you ever know? And I think that's just a lot of people who just don't use it, and that's the person like, you can use a spinning rod.
You can use anything. I mean, like you can use
You could go buy your fish at the store too.
Yep. You could sling a string out there with a hook on it if you want to. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, you can do
that's the crazy thing.
You can do a trout line.
Do what you want. Said Ted Lasso. You do what you want.
Exactly.
Do it.
All
right. Do you think we get Debo back on this episode, or is he just like trashing his router right now? He's gonna be at least 5 to 10 minutes if he's resetting a router.
Yeah, he's gonna be a hot minute. All right. Anyways, if we get it back,
did he message you?
If not, he's got to. No, I was just checking. But Amir did. He's giving me behind the scenes, and I'm trying to pretend like I'm not reading it, and I'm gonna ask him a question, even though I want to. Okay. Yep. Next one, dude. This one got me. You ready? It's related. The dirty cousin of the BFS question. Do we even need spinning setups?
Bruh. Yes, absolutely we do.
But like way too many people would say no.
Oh yeah, well they're also the folks who just call them fairy wands.
Fairy wands,
weird about them. Like, I don't know when it became like weird to use a spinning combo, but
it is.
They've won tournaments. Like they catch giant smallmouth. There's nothing wrong with the spinning combo.
It's so weird.
They do the job, and they do it really well,
super well.
Yeah.
And I mean, the smallmouth guys would sit there and be flabbergasted.
Yeah.
I am stunned.
To the person saying, like, you don't need spinning.
Yes. Just like, I would literally be like,
yeah.
It's 50-50.
Well, that and the saltwater guys would be like, you're out of your dang.
Well, okay, but I'm just talking about like bass fishing, right?
But yeah, but like casual bass fishing, freshwater. Yeah, plenty of people will say, what are you doing with that thing?
What if you're gonna go bank fishing, you take 2 setups, or kayak fishing, you'll take 2 setups. What are you bringing?
I'm
bringing one spinning,
at least one spinning, if not 2. Right? Depends on where we go fishing. We go fish St. Clair, I bring 2. There's the medium, and then there's the medium light. Like but that is what I'm
right. But like bottom contact is 23,000 times better with a spinning reel. Like roughly. Creek fishing with a bait cast. Yeah. Shaky. Creek fishing with a bank caster can be very good. It's way better with a spinning rod. Even with less cast, it's better.
Yeah.
Like it's not a question.
I mean, weightless, wacky fluke fishing is my favorite thing to do on spinning setup.
But you can do that with a bait caster, sure, but it's not as good. It's not as good.
Hey,
crystal clear.
What happened?
There he is.
How's your router doing?
I restarted. Everything froze. So
he's got 9 pieces of router in his knuckles. Like it's all right.
How do you think it's doing? Should have seen the other router.
Yeah, right.
Didn't last it. So Debo, we were just jumping to the next topic, which was, do we even need spinning setups? How do you feel about spinning setups?
Yes, we definitely do.
Okay.
When do you grab for a spinning reel, Debo? Most often, as an Iowa angler.
Ned rig for sure.
What about wacky? Is that a bait caster?
Wacky, shaky heads.
Oh yeah, good call. Actually.
Small paddle tails.
The best.
How do you feel about? I was like, how do you feel about drop shot?
Yeah, those finesse things. Yeah,
what about
I like them.
What about your 1/8 jigs? Is that ever a thing that even happens?
I don't know. I don't throw those too much. Like, like the little Z-Man ones, or I mean, if I'm going to throw something, for me, it's been my homemade Ned jigs.
Oh yeah,
bangers.
So yeah,
yep, EWG style Ned, love it.
Yep,
but that would be on a bait casting setup most often.
No, spinning for these. Yeah,
Ned
spinning.
Yeah, spinning all day.
1000%. I love it, and I like that BFS is part of the arsenal. It's still. I know that's kind of where we left off, but it really has become like in a lot. Jeff and I were talking about like it used to be I would grab my ultralight spinning setup. That would be I'm gonna go hyper finesse, like let's do that or whatever.
Yeah.
And now I'm at a point where I'm like I don't want to say rarely, but relatively I'm grabbing BFS setup way more often. It's got a wider range. The range is so much wider, but the sensitivity is still there. And then weight wise, I can do way more with that rod because it's got way more backbone, but then it's still super sensitive.
Yeah, like unless we're
if I'm going on the bank with like a little tiny crankbait or something that's just more manageable, like a little like 3/16 ounce, like paddle tail or something that's finesse, where I can just, to me, a bait caster is more comfortable. I've always said that.
Sure.
And that was the one thing that I was like, yeah, faster, and I'm definitely more accurate. But yeah, I like both. Each one has their spot. So
yeah. That's it. They have their spot for it. With our ultralight spinning, like I feel like, Paul, if we know we're going after bluegill, we want to catch a bunch of bluegill, like I bring the ultralight. And otherwise I'm like BFS. I would rather fish with the BFS.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, everything has its spot. So anybody who's just saying like you're naysaying spinning to naysay spinning, you're silly. Knock it off.
It is weird to do. I've never been like, we don't need blah blah blah, because I'm like, somebody needed it. Like, I mean, I may not use it, but like,
who needs that? Nobody.
Somebody, yeah, for sure. All right, this is a date, marry, throw in the trash, kill. I said it.
Throw in the trash. Okay.
So we have 3 things, and you have to date one, marry one, and murder one.
Okay.
Braid, mono, fluoro.
Oh my God, Debo has to go first on this one.
Date, marry, murder.
Yep.
Yeah.
Strange.
Super PG version of this.
Let's see. So marry, I would probably just marry fluorocarbon.
That's yes.
Oh.
Correct answer.
You already know where we're going.
I see. Okay, so I have to get rid of one that I use almost all the time.
Yep.
Yeah, it's tough, I don't know. I pass.
You're not trying. What? You can't pass.
I need to think. This is your show. You go first.
I'm ditching mono. See you later. I know.
I'm also ditching mono.
Murder. It's gone.
I want to marry fluoro and
dating Braid,
learn how to cast it on every setup I have, because I don't do that normally. And then I'm gonna date. I'm gonna date Braid. Braid is the side piece. It's such a messed up scenario with line.
I feel like if you're from Texas though, or like Mississippi or something, where like you have like big like chocolatey areas, it'd probably be like marry Braid, date fluoro.
Yeah, I think it's different for people depending on where they're at, for sure. I think for fluoro is really important for us up in the Midwest, but especially
you gotta have it.
You're missing bites if you're not using fluoro up here, because the water is often very clear, if not slightly stained, and like fluoro excels there. And we don't have like as many rocky, like quarry type waters as a lot of folks do down south. There's not a lot of that at all. It's mostly grass. So
all right, Debo, you've had time.
Okay, in a strange turn of events, I would kill fluoro. I would marry mono.
Your wife? No.
I would date Braid.
Whoa.
Because
keeping mono and Braid.
I despise. I have to have Braid for frogging. Can't.
Yeah.
I use mono forever instead of fluoro. So everything else would be on mono, and then I would just get rid of fluoro. Have you ever tried like 6, or I don't know what you go, like ultra finesse 8, we'll say 8 pound when you're not getting bites? Have you ever tried side by side like a clear mono versus a clear fluoro and noticed a difference?
Not side by side.
No. That'd be interesting to see.
Other than stretch and floating line, that's it. Like just
not that. I mean
subtle.
Because Jeff specifically brought up the the clarity, and that's a big marketing tool to it, right? Being completely invisible. That'd be interesting to see.
It would actually. I would agree.
I think it would. I'm down to test it. Let's test it. Let's do
everyone here is just like having a secret tryst with copolymer.
Like, give me the copolymer.
You got the backdoor copolymer entrant.
Everybody gets. You're all entitled to opinions, right?
But get it. I like it. You got a lot of different relationships going. That's perfect. All right. This one for me is like kind of interesting. Actually, I'm interested to hear. Like, like pretend someone is saying this. Why bother fishing new lakes? Like, why bother? Like, if you have a cool lake that's like next door, like, why bother getting your ass kicked going somewhere else? Like,
I feel that so aggressively.
Like, let's say you lived on like Lake St. Clair or Okeechobee or like one of these like or whatever, like one of these crazy awesome lakes. Like, why bother going? Why bother going anywhere else?
But I feel like to a smaller extent too, like say where I live, like I'm very comfortable with my lake, and I know every day I go out, I'll catch like 30 fish. But the chances of catching a 5-pounder are like 1 in 1,000 of those fish. So if I live somewhere where the chances of catching
1,000, and
yes,
like
that easily 1,000. No, it's not 20. It's absolutely not 20. Think about all the fish you've caught on that lake, and if you added them up, by the time you got that one
out of a
5-pounder,
fish. I meant out of a trip. I meant out of a trip.
No. Out of like, if I went to my lake, for every 1,000 fish on my lake I catch, one of them's a 5-pounder. Like that is not good odds.
Sure.
If you lived on a lake where like the odds were much better, I wouldn't go anywhere else. Why would I? Like, to me, exploring water is fun. You're on a delay. You didn't hear my answer. To me, exploring water is fun. I do really enjoy that. And it depends on what I'm going out for. If I'm going out to like get some recreation and some nature and like maybe find a new cool spot, great. If I just need to go catch like giant fish and I live near a giant fish lake, I'm going to the giant fish lake. So I'd say the answer is it depends for me on the situation. But Debo, how do you feel about it?
Yeah, I mean, I've never experienced it'd be hard if you lived on like a really special big lake where it was you had a bunch of different stuff and you could just go out and whack big fish all the time. That'd be very interesting. But for me, I like I like different spots. Like around here, we have some spots might be really grassy, some are like really rock centric. We've got some that are flooded forests, so you get to fish a bunch of wood. So yeah, I just like fishing all the different stuff. I think somebody said in the comments, the more different things you see, the better you get. So I like that challenge to it.
Challenge can be fun. Paul, what about you?
I mean, like, what do we always say about the river? Like, what's so great about fishing the river?
You never know what you're going to get.
It's always different. Every time you go, it's like, oh, it's
the river's like a box of chocolate.
River's a box of chocolate
today. Like,
sometimes it is a box of chocolate.
Right?
Chocolate milk.
T-shirt. River of chocolate.
The river of chocolate. You never know what you're going to get.
I mean, but that's what makes it so great. And like, how many we've had some like home style lakes where we're like, yeah, this is home cooking, and it gets boring at some point. You're like, God, I got to do something else. This sucks. It's annoying. I think it's important,
especially when you drive a distance to that said body of water and then it sucks. That's when it's the worst. It's demoralizing because then you also have a long drive home,
and that's
you're like, remember that time I sucked all day? That was a good time.
You have to walk.
No one likes getting their butt kicked, for sure.
The drive of shame.
Well, and I think as content creators, it's like double bad because you just wasted. I mean, truly have created more work for yourself because now you have more work on the back end to make up all the content you didn't get
in the office, in the boring place, or you got to find a time to go out and fish again when you don't have time.
Well,
that's
great, rough. But when you don't have the time as a father,
you can't.
Stuff, man, that sucks.
What do you just take work off?
Yeah.
Like, hey, I didn't get my content done. Sorry, boss. I gotta go. Like, see ya. Nice try. Yep.
That's why we need to get jobs in the fishing industry somewhere. Could you imagine if we had jobs in the fishing industry where they're like, hey, why don't you just go out and get some of your content, do this along the way?
Yeah. Test this new jerkbait, catch some fish or whatever, and like film it, thing. Yeah. This is what we all dream that fishing jobs are like, but they're not that at all.
No, they're not.
That job does not exist. We are currently the existence of that job.
Yeah, we're doing the version of that job right now.
Yeah. I wish that job was like at Berkeley. We have this job where you just go do this all the time. I wish.
Sounds great.
Man. Yep.
All right, so I like this question. It came up in chat. He's like, well, if you're okay with forward-facing sonar right now,
why don't you marry it?
Let's assume. Are you guys kissing? Let's assume.
Why don't you kiss it?
Let's assume the technology continues to get more advanced. At what point would you be like, you know what, this is cheating? Like it's become too easy. Like what innovation would make it where you're like, yeah, I'm out?
Dude, Debo,
that's the whole deal with forward facing sonar. It's such a weird, like, That's why I don't even like calling pro bass fishing a sport, because it's the only like unfactored sport that's out there. Everywhere else has a level playing field, same ball, same court. And it's like, yeah, you're fishing the same lake, but it's completely different fish. It's so weird.
Boat,
It's so weird to
fish,
think. Yeah.
devices. Yeah.
There's no hunting championship where they're like, go in the same woods. Good luck.
Yeah. Yeah. Go shoot. Yeah. I don't even
see who survives.
Not each other. A turkey or something. Like what?
I know. They're all in like the same square mile.
They think they're like, there's one elk in here. No, it's just you guys. One of you guys is not coming out.
They're taking out the competitors left and right. I tell you what, hunting would get a lot more interesting.
It'd be rough. It'd be a rough go.
Yeah. It'd be rough for those guys, but it'd be fun to watch. I'm just saying. Oh my gosh. Calm down.
So
Paul.
where's the line? For me,
when it catches fish for you, that's the line.
Well, that's fair. Yeah, if that's your answer, that's fair. I think forward facing sonar.
Jason gets it.
We totally did, Jason. Yeah, we did. 1v1. It's a different format. Really fun. I think for me, like the line would be if like you don't need to look for fish. Like with forward facing sonar, like you could graph all day and you may never even light up a bass.
Especially if you suck at FFS.
No, but I mean, even if you're good at it, like you could drive all day and you may only light up like a handful of bass, right? But like, and you got to do the work, right? But then on the other side, if it was like, let's say you pulled up to the lake and you throw up a drone, the drone shoots up while you're pulling the boat in, it does a quick lap and it tags every bass that's in the lake. And they're like, well, maybe you don't even know the size, but like, hey, they're all glowing red. Like as a hunter, I used to imagine like, what if I had, because heat sensing is illegal, right? Like you can't use heat sensing when you're hunting.
I imagined that. I kind of
you're taking away fair chase at that point.
You can't be the predator in the woods.
Yeah, exactly. so I would imagine though, like while I was out there, out of my mind after 7 hours with not enough snacks, trying to be quiet, I would be like, what if every deer that was out here just had like a giant red beacon shooting into the sky? And like, I just knew where they all were. Like, how crazy would that be? And I kind of think about that way with that could be the next evolution, right? Like you go out, thermo scan the whole lake, you tag everything that's like bigger than 6 inches. And you're like, okay, 80% chance that all of these are bass. And then now you just on your graph know right where they are. Like that to me would be cheating, because the trick is it's right place, right time is ultimately what makes like a phenomenal bass fisherman versus like a very good one.
Yeah. When AI gets involved with catching fish, that's going to be a problem.
Garmin is collector.
Garmin is fully. Have you guys seen the new Garmin that just dropped? That just got released? It is a full onboard computer in the realist sense of what that is. Like every app that you have is like fully involved. Google Maps, all of it, satellite, it's all there, and it works that fast. It's I'm not saying it's like a good thing, but it is unbelievable. That is how you're one step away from like the processor that could have onboard AI. And let's say you graph the whole lake and it knows the weather and it knows the pressure and it knows all these factors, and it goes back in history or even your fishing history. If you log your catches, right? Cast King, you have the iReel, it's logging your catches or whatever. Yeah. And it goes, hey, based on the 7,500 times you've been fishing in this scenarios, they should be in this kind of water in this part of this lake. Go. And lo and behold, no shit, there's fish there. Yeah.
It's a fish caddy.
That to me is cheating.
Grab your
but that's what your brain is supposed to do. That's your brain is supposed to be like, oh yeah, it's super hot. They're over there. Like
the fish are over there. They're hunkered down on that log.
Like, what's the hard part, you guys?
You're gonna throw the black and blue when you're fishing.
Jig. Like of all the stuff that you do, what ends up being the thing? Together. It's getting to the right place where the fish are. Yeah. Like
Well, yeah,
that's my pick. What about you, Debo? What do you
often
think?
we find the fish too, and then we have to figure out what do they want,
Sure.
and that's another huge part of the puzzle. But yeah, so on that point, I would say if something were to figure that out for me, and that takes the entire game away, that would be a problem. Obviously, more than cheating, it kind of just ruins it for me. I like putting the puzzle together, so that'd be messed up. Debo, what about you?
Yeah, you guys already covered it. I mean, it's like I said, it's a slippery slope. I don't, it's only going to keep getting better. I mean, there's a thing on Instagram floating around where it was like, oh, look at this new garment or something. Like it was just a AI thing, but it was like a fish. Like you could see every detail of this like yellow fish swimming around, like incredibly clear. Like imagine FFS, but incredibly clear, like crystal clear.
Right.
Like, I mean, yeah, it's probably going to get to that. And I don't know. That's the tough part when you start putting money on this stuff. And again, making it a quote unquote sport where you can buy all these aids to help you. I don't know. So yeah, I don't have any skin in the game. I don't really care about tournament fishing. I've played with FFS and it's the amount you can learn is incredible. But yeah, it doesn't catch them for you. You could burn a whole day on a school of fish that aren't biting because you can't figure them out, and you can see them. It's just like ice fishing, So
it's exactly like ice
with the vet. How many times have we just spent so much time playing weeds? Like there's no fish there. Like, yeah, you're reading the Vexlar all wrong. So yeah, I'd agree. I think it's a tool, but if it takes many more big leaps forward, it's a big problem.
I don't think you're too far away. And really, when I think about like the years I spent hunting, we talk about fair chase all the time. Like that's the game. It's fair chase, right? You talk about you got like without that, it's harvesting. And I think that's the distinction that like bass fishing, because of how much Humminbird and Garmin and these companies, they occupy a huge part of the space, like the money part of it, because there's no money in bass fishing. We're gonna talk about that later. Like they own such a big
hacking my internet.
Paul's hacking into your internet.
Can't say no to them, but
he'll catch up. It's like on a 20-second delay. You were saying, my guy? 30-second delay. Man,
am I back?
All right, you're back. Can you hear us?
Maybe more.
Yay! All right, cool.
Yes.
Well, all right. So I was going to bring this up. Pocket Wash beat me to it. Underwater cameras, are they cheating? Aquaview just came out with a new camera that you can mount to specific fish finders, not all of them. For example, not the Garmin units that we had or have. They reached out to us and we were like, not compatible, bro. Send us the micro camera. So we had fun with that. But they make one now. You can just mount it right to your, well, you don't have to mount anything. It's like, it just attaches like where your unit stuff is, but like the camera is on the unit, the head unit itself. So you don't have to have this separate screen and all of that. And with newer fish finders, it's sunlight readable. It's like super easy to read. And you drop that camera down, you can set it up directionally and you can point and see those fish. Is that cheating? You can have this on your bass boat like tomorrow.
You can't see very far. I mean, you have to have crystal clear water for it to even be remotely effective. Like
that's a lot of people don't know that, but yeah,
maybe, I mean, maybe, I guess. But is it illegal or is it cheating for ice fishing? No, it is some of the most fun ice fishing I've had when I can find fish. Going back to locating fish, I have tapped out for this season because I suck horribly at ice fishing this year. So screw ice fishing.
We had some rough days. Paul had some rough days for sure. But we did get out like 5 days. Each of us caught some bass. Like we had some okay times, I would say, but no giants. Probably what, Paul, like half a dozen.
No consistency.
No consistency for sure. None. And like there was a day on a lake by Paul where I was catching, but it was all this big. Like we kept finding just the schools of the tiny juvenile bluegill.
Was
like,
it perch?
All we could find. It was all gillies. Like there was a few perch mixed in, but it was mostly just gillies, just tiny little gillies. So yeah, and the camera has kept us moving in those circumstances and helped us like not spend too much time on the wrong spot, which has definitely been helpful, I would say. But yeah, if you're out on a bass boat, you're dropping it down and you're like just playing some fish, especially in a tournament situation. Yeah, no, That's not good. That's not.
Well, you can use the cone thing, the traffic cone thing.
Flogging is so weird too, but I mean, like, how entertaining is that, you guys?
It works super good.
It does, but then like you're just watching this guy, and pow! Like it's not. It's like having the 40-inch screen that I've seen on.
But a
some
lot
boats
of guys
that
are. But not everyone's fishing with it, like actually fishing and doing it at the same time. They're looking for that bedded fish,
spotting it,
to see exactly where it is. Because realistically, if you're on a cold water lake and they are on beds, you got to be in you have to be able to cast 10 feet down, 20 feet down in the water in a 2-inch circle, 4-inch circle, and if you miss that circle, you're not catching that fish.
Get good,
not happening.
Get good.
Get a camera then,
it's
bro.
hot.
Where's your overview and where's your AI unit? You dweeb.
Where exactly is your stuff? And why aren't you kissing it? I just
why aren't you kissing it?
I just
give you better luck.
I do. I think fair chase is like what, and this is interesting to me. Is like I think that's what pro bass fishing needs, and I think that's the logic that you could apply, and it's the difference between harvesting and catching. And that, like ice fishing, we are harvesting.
It's harvest.
We are harvesting. I'm eating them. So like I'm going out. And
they want to be at
80% of the time. Like I'm keeping what I catch. So with the exception of like a giant pike or whatever. Like that's what you're doing. So I don't know. All right, I got one. Well, this is meant to make people. Oh, go ahead.
On a rough day, I'll come home and toss a line in the aquarium. This is why you need a pet bass. You're like this poor abused pet bass, just catching it every time.
Oh man,
I just want to feel that tug on the line, man. That's it. All right, go ahead, Paul.
Tug's a drug. If you guys have questions that you want us or like topics that you want us to cover, put them in chat. I've got like a couple.
I'll take 1 or 2 hot topics from chat tonight. We'll wrap.
I got a couple.
That'll be like our slow rolling.
The last one was really good. I have slow rolling. We're ready for that. But I have okay. Will pro bass fishing ever be a real sport?
Debo.
No, it's such a weird. Yeah, it's such a weird niche, and I'm not saying that to take anything away from the pro anglers at all. Don't think that, because we're gonna get people all pissed off. It's just, again, it's weird in that way that not everything's equal. That's the weird part of it. Like, it's not all the same gear. It's not the same boat. It's not the same. I don't know. It's just strange to me. So
what if somebody? I'm gonna counter argue. I agree with you, by the way. But what if let's say I'm devil's advocate. Somebody goes, hey, look, all this money is into it. You can fish with whatever rod you want, whatever line you want. You can bring whatever you want. That's the sport. The sport is having the right tools on deck, having the right baits, and all the prep that goes into it. You can do whatever you want with your boat. You can use whatever grabs you want. There's no limit on what these guys can or cannot do. So how is it not fair? They're on the same lake. Technically, the same fish are there. Now, can they cast the same fish? They'll be casting at each other before that happens. But they theoretically, you definitely could. How do you how do you combat like that point? Because that's kind of valid.
That's the other half of it. Yeah, that's the other half that you can't combat. So that's why I mean, it's like it's such a weird. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I feel like they'd have to have all of the same exact equipment. It'd be like NASCAR, like similar. They vary by degree, not by kind. Like all the cars are very similar in terms of output, but they're different brands. Like you have your Chevys.
Those cars are all tuned different, though.
They're all running around the same track. Whereas
at the same time,
running around the exact same track at the exact same time.
So let me ask you this: how could they do it? No holds barred. How could you do it? Because the other thing that really sucks is on these tournament trails. Yeah. And it kind of gets evened out sometimes, but it's like you get northern anglers fishing in man-made Texas lakes. You get Texas anglers fishing in California. Yeah. Like these are so different. Like they're not, it's not the same. But how could they do it?
Yeah.
Like, what would do it?
Well, it would have to be similar to NASCAR. They would have regulations. Like you can tune it.
Like
but
what? No, I mean, like what though?
I don't know the NASCAR regulations, but they have.
No, I meant like, do you all have to use the same rods? Like,
but I even think on that. Think on that. It's still a weird like gray line because
there's so many tools.
Well, in no other sport are you interacting with another living object to be the winner. right?
Yeah.
To me, that's the hard part of it. Even if you had everything was the same, every same rod, like, and it's clear that there are people that are definitely better at fishing than others. That's
No
I'm not at all
question.
debating that.
Not
Yeah.
even close.
I mean, you look at like KVD back in the day, Jacob, but these guys know how to put it together. But it's the weird thing of in no other sport are you trying to trick some other living object into,
That's fair.
But I guess at the same time, you could say the basketball's the same way. You've tricked another living object into going right and you went left.
Humans.
And you scored.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Okay.
It's weird. It's just weird to me.
What if they were like, what if just hear me out. The big, the big tank.
What if you're like a toddler trying to get a story out, and you're just like,
it's like,
what if you can breathe underwater like Kevin Costner in Waterworld?
Big tank.
What if, buddy? What if?
The big tank where they do the lure testing at ICAST type deal, like at a trade show. There's a guy up on a platform.
Science semi from Berkeley.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
And there's one fish in there, and everyone gets 5 casts at it with whatever they want. And it gets an hour break in between.
Wow.
Sounds like a drinking game.
It does sound like all I can think of is like, that's just a drinking game.
I'm ready.
Let's play.
What if that were the scenario? And it was like, can you catch Tina? Is that possible? Can you catch Jimmy? Alan, my guy. Like
my dude.
You sound like, is that a sport now?
No. That's a drinking game, like Debo said, dude.
I'm just wondering.
Ain't nobody watching that. That's boring as hell.
I know that. I know no one's watching that. 100%.
Therefore, it's not a sport. If they don't,
but no one's watching pro bass fishing right now either. Like
people are watching it, not us. Not us. But people
You're not a purist.
Honestly,
we don't.
Like compared to other stuff.
Somebody does. Really. There's still money in the game.
But it's not.
That's totally not. I would much rather beat 9,000% be fishing than watch it.
Not even
exactly. There's some sports like football. I would rather just sit and watch it than go get
basketball
annihilated.
Bust my knee.
It's destroyed. Yeah, 9 times out of 10, those sports like I'd rather watch than play. If it's rugby, I'd be down to play once in a while, but not constantly.
What's interesting? Yeah, sorry.
No, that's all. But like fishing is 100%. I'd rather be fishing than watching.
What's interesting for me too is there's this element of in like pro bass fishing of like winning the big check. Like that's a big part of the whole thing.
That's the whole show, right?
But people don't really talk about it that much anymore. Yeah. It's like I won for pride, and like the money's kind of whatever.
Now
like,
all they talk about is FFS.
But like it kind of used to be like the big check because you can't get paid to fish.
That's because like, they don't
economics
have
are trash on it.
That's very true. That's the only sport, and again, it's the only sport where you have to pay to compete.
Thank you.
That's
because
wild.
the economics are obvious. Like that's what I mean, but not enough people are watching it. No,
you imagine if they're like, all right, LeBron, if you want to play in today's game, you will $100.
Gotta get your registration fee in. You friggin' what?
Pay LeBron.
It's the betting pot is all it. They're just placing a bet every tournament. Everybody puts in money, and then the winner gets the money. Like
it's that. It's a 50-50 that you play.
Like,
literally, but like you, dude, it's wild.
Yeah,
it's wild.
Yeah. It is interesting times. All right, did we get any questions out of chat? I might have missed them. I think there was a gift sub that we missed. Hang on. Crispy, are you back? Gosh dang it, Crispy. Look at you flying off the handle again. So shout out to Crispy for dropping 5 gift subs. Thank you so much. We got Travis Tibbs. We got Miguel Gomez. We got Dave Jones. We've got the Ghastly Gamer. Great name. And East Texas Flatbed. Welcome aboard. Right? Also great name. And if you didn't hear at the beginning of the show, March 11th, it's a Tuesday, 8:15 p.m. Eastern. We'll be doing a live just for the members. So join us there. And thank you to Crispy again for doing that. Something exploded in Debo's house.
Everything I don't know what the hell that was. Somebody fell up there. That's right. Probably one of my children.
Then you wait. For the
if there's a cry in 10 seconds.
Delayed cry.
You didn't hear any screaming.
Yeah, they're fine. Yeah.
It's always just like
or it's very bad. It's one of the two.
Like,
when you don't
hear they're silent.
Or they're knocked out.
They're silent.
Which in fact they can wait then if they're knocked out. They won't notice.
They're not gonna miss out on that lost time.
Extra rest.
Oh my god. All right.
I like that one. It's interesting to me because I am not a pro bass watcher at all, and I don't
Same.
I'm going to say it. I don't care. I literally don't care
Also
even
same.
a little bit. Do I respect it? Yes. It's amazing. I am not a 50th of the quality of any of those anglers. But I hate the way the money is set up. It makes no sense to me. And the whole structure of this, where companies basically run this whole thing, but then still make the anglers pay to compete, is asinine. And I got nothing else for it. It's great. It's just, it makes no sense. It is definitely one of those. It's kind of like when you find out that there's like no free market for like one small segment of the economy, and you're like, how the hell? And that's why it's all like insurance companies and like medical companies, like it's all rigged. And so you're like, why do we have that? This is the same thing. That's like, why is this not like all the other things? It's very strange to me. All right, next one. Which is better, spring fishing or fall fishing?
Fall.
Spring.
Ooh.
I would say
because fall means winter's coming, and I despise it.
But
I think
fall smallies are
fall.
I like spring a lot.
Spring largies, fall smallies.
But yeah, exactly. Spring largies, fall smallies. I will stand on that as well. And I will also say that spring is a bold-faced lie in Michigan.
Crap.
It's such a scam. And that's what bothers me mostly about it, because
that's so true.
It's like winter, summer, mud winter, winter the reckoning. It like comes back. Like today was winter round 2. Like we just got a blizzard.
Faux spring.
It was 60 degrees yesterday, and then I get this, dude. Michigan's a scam. Fall
spring is great though, because when it hits and you first get out.
That first like sunshine day when it's 48 degrees, and you're like, heck yeah. You're just
getting sunburned to hell. Like
you're just getting
45 degrees in your shorts going.
45 degrees.
I had my flip-flops on a month ago.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm looking forward to that. Like, yes, the last 2 days were kind of a taster of that, and I got all excited, and then Michigan scammed us like it always does. Literally. For like 2 months, Michigan just slaps us in the face. It's like, just kidding, nerd. Get back in your place. Put that hoodie back on.
It'll hail in like April, like the middle of April.
Today.
What are we doing? Dude,
guys? Ridiculous.
Debo, you say spring? Why do you say spring?
Because fall means winter's here, and it always seems like fall is just so quick.
Yeah.
So
it is too short.
Yeah.
It's way too short.
Spring.
Yeah,
I love that. I think the best largemouth days that I've ever had have almost always exclusively been in the spring, and the best smallmouth fishing of my life has almost exclusively been either the very height of summer or fall.
I would say like my favorite out of all of them is that early summer, like post spawn, where it's just starting to get hot and like the topwater bite just gets crazy. That's my favorite.
Agreed. Hard agree.
Fall and spring, I feel like, especially for the Midwest, though, is like a question that I find myself asking a lot. Because I do feel like fall is a little more prolonged for us in Michigan.
It is.
And the weather is not as wet. In spring, we get a lot more precipitation, so it takes days out, and it does feel super short because of that. So it's like I would probably just pick the fall because of that. But
seems to be
the spring days, dude.
Colder.
Spring days, I do catch more fish when it comes to largies. I catch way more fish.
I feel like the biggest fish on average we catch are in the spring. Like the overall biggest, like the 5-pounder that every year, like Paul and I, we get a 5-pounder.
Yeah.
I swear to God.
You get one.
Get one. It doesn't matter what lake you go to. you get one. Everything else is a 4. It's like always pushing the limit of a 5.
I didn't even break 5 last year.
No?
It's
lots
like
of 4s, lots of 4s and 3/4. Well, I shouldn't say lots. Multiple.
Like a couple 100,000.
Yeah. 75 each day.
Every day. It's all I catch.
I friggin' wish. God dang.
And then the commenters were like, nice dink, loser.
Yeah, every
time. Idiot.
He said, look how excited he was. You know what? That might be my worst comment is people are like, get mad at you for getting excited about.
Why are you so excited?
Like, you do not get excited about catching a fish. What's wrong with you?
I just like catching fish.
What an ice cold take. That's colder than fake spring, or that's colder than fake spring. That's ridiculous.
That's worse than how Michigan treats us in the spring.
Savage.
You clowns.
Here we go. Will inflatables ever have a solid place in the minds of kayak anglers?
No. Easily no. Absolutely.
Dang,
not.
that makes me mad. I agree.
Yeah, it's wrong thinking.
Mad.
It's wrong thinking, but it won't. Like, they just won't translate. And if you call it an inflatable kayak, they will scream at you. Like, that is what I know.
You're gonna get yelled at.
But yeah, they're never going to like let inflatables play the game. They're never gonna let them play the game. People who there are the inflatable crowd, I've found out. It like since we started doing inflatable reviews, the real inflatable crowd also hates those hybrid inflatables,
which is so weird.
They hate them.
They hate them. They hate the hell up. They're like, Debo. That's not. There's only 1 or 2 models of inflatables that crowd will accept. Everything else is a scam.
100%.
But they're not. Yeah, it's boo. It's mostly boo.
Literally, every time we talked about one, they're like, my drift raft is like $250 or pack raft. They love pack rafts, right? So like that's cool. I think it's a really cool concept, and I would also love to hike into the wilderness, unroll a thing out of my backpack, blow it up in 5 seconds, and then go rafting and fishing down a river. That would be really cool. But at the same time, why are we discounting this other tool that exists? Like, it still baffles me.
The perception too that like you're gonna like fart and explode the boat is beyond me. Like,
depends on how sharp that fart is.
Like, I've almost done that in my kayak. So
yeah.
Agreed.
I did an actual boat, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Just sink in your raft.
But like, you know what I mean? Like, there's this fear that like your keys are gonna fall out and deflate the boat. Like, it's. I mean, I was.
M80 says it's hooks, man. People are afraid because you're fishing. I get it. I get the initial fear. And yes, Paul has thrown glide baits at me in the flywater, the inflatable aisle flywater, and we have dragged them across the surface of the inflatable. It's not that easy to puncture these things, so it's
actually
not that easy. That's one more thing that I don't want to have to worry about.
The only time I did it was with a power drill.
Yeah, he literally just punched through it. So I mean, that was fully user error. He was installing a bracket on the back of the aisle flywater, and he like over tightened it. They've actually since then idiot proofed it, so now you can't over tighten
what I said this whole time.
So all right. So Debo, the thing is, when you add with some models and no longer with the aisle, but like when you add an accessory, it's got these threaded screws, and then it's like
they can just go all the way through.
There's a thread insert, but underneath it is not. It's not metal. It's inflatable. So you put it in slightly and then you mount it. Yes.
And you just guess.
Look, I'll fixed it. It's all good now.
I had a gummy, I guessed wrong. I don't know what to tell you. I put a little JB weld in there. I put a little JB weld in there, screwed the thing back in, never had a problem. It literally is so easy to fix. You just grab glue, like they give you like these little glue things and patch kits, and you literally just put some glue on it. You put the patch kit on it. It's a sticker, and it's tougher than the glue is tougher than the actual material. Like it's so easy to fix.
Hey, this glue actually gets hard, unlike the inflatable. Hey, I know. What if the whole boat was hard?
What if it was made plastic?
Like made out of plastic. Oh!
Good luck putting it inside of your truck or inside of your like trunk. The thing I love about the inflatable is one, I think the price is right. They're not that expensive. Two, for like general recreational like use, they are better than a kayak by far. Like having my kid on that inflatable is so much fun, and it's so unbelievably stable. It's stupid. Jeff, the weight capacity is insane. And what I want to do this year is I want to put the Newport, so the NK180 Pro, on the back of the flywater, because I have the extra bracket that I'm not using. So I'm just going to plop that on there, and that is going to be a freaking blast, dude. Like for me, the big drawback.
Steer it.
What? I'll just use the cables.
Hand steering?
No, they have the triangle. I'll just hook that up to a pole.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see it.
It has, you know how they have the triangle? Yeah. You flip it over, and then so that the triangle is facing backwards, and then you should be able to use the pole to do that. Yeah.
You should. Yeah. You should be able to. Or we get the NS130 with the NT300.
Well, that would be the best. That's a dream come true. I want that boat so badly.
Have you seen the Newport inflatable, the new one that they dropped this year, Debo? Like just came out a month or 2 months ago, Paul? A month ago?
Then no, it's been
the
out
NS 130.
It's been out for a long time.
Was it last fall? They dropped.
It's been on the website for a long time.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure they pushed it hard like last fall, and we were like, "Cool, we don't have it, but we'll talk about it," and we did.
Correct. That's correct.
But yeah, so they have a deal where you get that. It's an insane inflatable, so just look it up. But the Newport NS 130,
so sick.
It's got a boat seat that swivels, and then you just get
like a real actual boat, like full on boat seat.
Yeah.
See, yeah, I could see them being useful. Like if you had a cabin, like a secluded cabin or something where you couldn't bring a trailer, or if you fished like once a month, and you had someone to bring with you, I could see them being perfect for that. But like for me, having to do that every weekend, like blow it up and like mess with all that.
You don't have to.
You can leave it.
All you have to do is deflate it by like 2%.
Yeah.
And then come back in 5 pumps and you're
bam, done.
I love it.
And if I hit a rock or something, I don't know.
But I think about people with an apartment, dude. If I could have had that when I had an apartment, oh my God, one
storage
all day, all freaking day, dude. Like, and again, like once you start getting like kids and stuff on that, it's 10 times better. Like recreational out of it is a billion times better than the kayak. So I don't know. But yes, I will. I think you guys are right. I'm 100% on board. There's no way that a kayak angler is picking an inflatable. It's going to be, I think it will always be a small subset of the market. No question.
Yeah.
All right. This one is interesting. What do you guys think a high quality, so like Bluetooth enabled, comes with a charger, 24 volt, 50 amp battery should cost?
What's the question?
So like,
how much should a 50 amp hour battery cost?
Yes.
We'll start there.
Like a lithium?
Yeah.
Yes. 24 volts, not a 12.
I don't even know what the regular range is.
So you're actually the perfect person. So
not 10,000 like most of these companies.
So nice battery, super nice battery.
But it's hard to get, right?
Let's say
from what I understand.
I don't know. Let's say a 12 volt.
Allegedly.
So a 12 volt that you're going to use to power your fish finder, and it's going to be a 50 amp. So it's a big boy. It's like a larger battery.
So I got, what did I get? Like a 30? Is it a 30 is what I got for mine?
Probably.
Electronics. I think it was like 200, and I was okay with that ish. Somewhere.
So, okay. So 200,
like a couple hundred.
Did it come with a charger?
No, I think it's a 30 volt.
Did it come with a charger?
No, you had to get this. It was a life whatever one, but it was the ones that had the surge protection. Because like that's my thing is I didn't want to cheap out on one because I've seen people, fires and stuff start.
Especially
so I get
lithium. Yep.
Yeah. So
what kind of connectors? Turrets, like the screw on?
No, it's the
little plugs, the tabs.
The clip. Yeah, it's the clip in, like your ice fishing finder thing.
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe it's not protection. Maybe they lied and it's just an Amazon.
No,
I only turn it on when I'm there, and I never leave it on. Like I try to be super careful with it, but I understand paying more for safety, which I agree. But it's just some of them are so ungodly expensive. It's just like, dude, that is insane for a battery.
They are.
Pull up Dakota Lithium 12 volt 50 amp.
Well, the going rate on like discount batteries is 200 to 280 for a 24 volt 50 amp hour. But if
that's 24, that's a 24 volt.
24 volt. Yes.
Not a 12.
That's what you asked. That's what you originally asked.
No, I know. Debo's talking about 12 volt is what he got.
12 volt 30 amp hour, I think is what I got. And it was like $200.
Yeah.
Do you remember what brand it was?
It was a Life PO4 one that had the surge something protection with the charger. Unless they lied about it. So
no, I believe that.
The Dakota 12 volt 54 amp is $399.
Yep.
So then when you get into 24 volts, a lot of these companies, they'll bump it up a bunch. So like Dakota has a 24 volts 110 amp hour.
Oh, that's huge.
$15.99. Once you get into like the big amp hourage, it's packing a lot of power into one unit. So that plays a little bit of a role there. They also have a 48 volt 96 amp hour that is $2,700. Yeah. Higher
volt, approximately 50% overpriced.
Holy crap.
And Dakota,
look up the what is it, Express, or what's the green
X2?
one? Yeah,
X2. X2 50 amp
I think X2 is the most overpriced in my opinion.
So my 50, they are by about no, it's pretty close. So the X2 50 amp hour I have,
no charger.
I got it to try it out. Does not come with a charger. Chargers are $100 minimum. You just get a Noco charger instead. That's what I did.
Yeah.
But yeah, that
not
does
cheap
not come
either.
Those
no
are
charger.
Like
$200.
Dakota comes with one. This one does not. It's $399 for their 50 amp hour, and that's a 12.
Yeah.
Yeah. So X2, I have noticed too, is definitely up there in price. But then we go to Newport, right? Yes. And this is what this is where the question came from, because Paul was like, check out this battery. It's really cool. The new Low Pro, which I think is bringing a different value proposition than a lot of these, even the minis, even the compacts. I think it brings a different shape of battery, because that's what it is. So you could do something cool and different with it. So it's got a different value proposition. But yeah, it's $800.
The connectors are 1,000 times nicer than anything else I've seen.
Oh, I did see that. The waterproof ones, like that plug in. Were you showing those?
With a like a button, like a push button lock.
Yeah,
like
those were nice.
Come down and they lock on. They're also waterproof. They're also shockproof. Like no other batteries have that.
It's not cheap. It's $800. So I fully agree that a lot of people are going to look at that.
For a 24 volt 50 amp.
Mm-hmm. That's a lot of money for a battery.
It is.
I get it.
It is.
I totally
those are overpriced. Like you're paying for some marketing, 100%. Probably by $200 is my guess. Yeah. That's probably a $500 battery.
And I don't see that kind of battery anywhere else. So I think that
no one else makes
they've cornered that.
They're the only
particular market for now. We'll see where that goes. But I think they've lowered the price of their regular batteries now, and maybe like
$500. Yeah, they're about $200 cheaper.
Yeah. So I don't know, maybe it gets driven down at some point, but I get where people are coming from. 100%. What should it cost? I'd feel comfortable paying $500 for that, but not $800. Not $800.
It's going to hurt you.
$500 is pushing for sure.
Yep, I would agree. Yeah, that's brutal, man.
Yeah.
And Dakota. But here's the one thing that I don't know. This is just, I don't know. The one thing that everybody talks about with those other batteries is how much longer they're going to last.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know the answer to that question.
That's such a long game. It's to be like, sure, you can say that, and then if I remember,
if we're talking about, I don't know, but you know what I mean. Like if I'm talking about, like I don't have to buy another battery for the rest of my life, or like the next 12, 15 years,
or like 3 years,
sick, right, or 5. I just don't know the answer to that question. I just don't.
Right. Like
I've never had a battery die. I've never had a battery long enough to really test it.
Same. Debo, have you killed a bunch of those batteries?
You mean for kayak fishing or in general?
Well, I'd say in general, like just from my experience, I haven't had to use them until kayak fishing because I wasn't powering boats and stuff like that. But have you?
No. I thought you meant like your vehicle batteries. You've never replaced one, and I guess I didn't know we were just okay. Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah.
No. Yeah. The I can just say the difference in lithium to like regular lead core is night and day. It's crazy how much better they are. I know they're expensive, but if you can find deals, like it's just night and day. Like I went out the other day, was showing my buddy Chris was over. We were making jigs, showing him my kayak and flipped on my lights that I had done, and I still had all full power on my. And it's been minus 8,000, whereas like a regular lead core, dude, the cold just zaps those. So
oh yeah, they're toast.
You don't have to keep them on a charger 24/7. You know, same for like my drill.
No. Yeah, so, this is a good call out. So I had this conversation when I sold my kayak. So Tom Mix says 3 years ago, my Dakota Lithium was 12 volt 50 amp hour, like the similar one to what we have, Paul, was $530. I remember when we bought ours, Paul, and it was insanely priced. And then I sold my Hobie and I gave him like the whole build, my Garmin fish finder, forward facing sonar, everything, right? And I was like, here you go, it's the whole thing. And dude got a friggin' deal. And he was like, are you throwing this battery in? And I was like, sure, it's like $599. And then he pulls the website up and he's like, actually, they're only $399. And I was like, oh, neat, good, that's great. So I was like, take my battery.
Now I'm charging you half for it. So
yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's the price has gone down on those. I was like, I paid more than that. So I'm glad I wasn't alone, Tom. We did the same thing. We overspent on our Dakotas and now they're cheaper. So maybe batteries continue.
Did you though? Because there wasn't anything else like that at that point. Not a lot of options like that. They were the ones. So
they were the best ones. They definitely weren't the only ones.
No, but you couldn't. arguably that quality was not available a lot of places. So now you have like 7 options, and they're still that expensive.
Mm-hmm. No, they're not that expensive. They're cheaper than that now. They're $3.99. So it's all
Okay.
$150, $200.
Oh,
cheaper.
$5.99 to $3. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, dude, it's a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
they are, regardless of brand.
That is good to see, actually, to be honest.
But now you also have like the Lie Times, the Power Queens, which work fine, and they're $200.
The Power Queen has been great. We haven't had any issues.
Nope, not yet. Till it explodes on us while we're out on the water.
Only one way to find out. You got to risk your life.
2 YouTube anglers die on the water.
It is interesting, though, and I find it interesting. Like I know that those are, you're paying for the brand, right? You're paying for marketing, 100%. That's not. I'm never going to argue that. They're also never going to stop charging you that. So
yeah, good luck making marketing go away in our capitalism, buddy. Should we do slow roll or do this last one?
I got one more. Why is Japan so much better than us? And by us, I mean US.
Why is Japan better than us?
No, I mean, like when it comes to making bass baits, they are so much more creative than we are. It's not even close.
See, I disagree.
Okay.
Because so I was just talking to somebody about this the other day of JDM, how they only fished or used to only fish JDM. Blah,
Sure.
So the interesting thing to me is how much have we brought over there and they've copied from us and done different shoots of it. I think they have to get more creative with stuff, but I think a lot of the bare bone basics started here and they kind of refined or made it stranger over to their stuff. So I think a lot of the things were almost even pioneered here, I want to say. Sure, maybe that's the unpopular opinion, but
maybe it is. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know the whole history of, so I can't, that's just my my inkling, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know the JDM history, but
I look at what's available today, and like when you go to ICAST and working on with the Lunker Hunt Spider, what? No way, dude. Skater laser? No way. Like I look at
bring up the new
what's
what's
new
and
what's new and wild. It's Crush City, which they're not bad baits, but like they're just baits. There's nothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing there. Like those are baits. Like
you didn't like them? I feel
no, I like them. They're fine. They're fine. But like what? How is that? Compare that to the like Sakamata. Compare that to anything Depps has come out with ever. And like the dice. Like I don't like. There's nothing like that kind of stuff. Like we just Imakatsu. We don't make anything like anything even close to that wild comes out of the U.S. market. None of it. Like they have poop like gravity baits. Like we didn't.
Yeah.
What? We never even thought about it.
Yeah.
It's just I find it fascinating that like they pump out truly unique ideas constantly, including like bait finesse. And we're like, new color fluke. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess I'm yes and no. I may be in between you and Debo. Like I feel like somebody said it in chat. Like they're dealing with high pressure waters, so they have to try these seemingly like crazy inventions to catch fish.
Hey, throw me that share real quick. Throw me that share Debo screen real quick.
Oh. Bam.
Whoa!
The Versa Strider.
Please tell me you guys ordered some of these.
If you guys
guess what I'm doing right after this.
Yeah, give me 10. If you guys are listening, we're checking out the new tackle.
They can make the drop shot an even more horrible thing by putting a spider on it.
No.
This is the Lunker Hunt Versa Strider.
You gotta be super running out of ideas when you're like, hey, you know what was successful once? We're gonna wait 7 years. We're gonna do it again.
Wait. Hold on. The first one floated, but these don't.
These don't.
I mean,
okay, there you go.
I don't know. I'm gonna get some. I'm gonna get some. Paul, let's buy some of this. Whatever. I don't know what I was saying. Japan is cool. US is also cool. Can't we all get along? All right, slow rolling thunder. Let's do it. Because we got to get out of here. So for slow rolling thunder, we got a couple of questions here. Paul, you want to roll that first one there?
Yeah. So when you're a kid, and you'd go to like a birthday party, like what was the gift that would like kids would go absolutely bananas for? Like what's the best possible gift that you could have gotten as like, we'll say like a 10-year-old.
In the time we lived in, or like ever?
Yes, at the time.
Any
like at the time, you're 10 years old. Like, what would be like the freaking gift? Like the
Pokemon
thing, like
cards, Tamagotchi.
Tamagotchi was lit. What about like remote
Tamagotchi?
control? Like a good remote control car.
That was definitely up there.
Bro,
Yeah.
that was a good one. So high on the list. Oh,
I was
going
to say, like, what was that? Super? What had that have been? Super Nintendo at that time? Like games.
I was going to say video games.
Did you get the best game of the year? Yeah, that was always the big one for me.
Sega.
Skateboard was such a good answer, Chaz. Skateboard. I got a skateboard.
Nerf gun or Super Soaker. Those were high up there too.
Super Soakers were pretty legit. Pretty
legit.
Like action figure was like action figure was way up. Like I remember my grandma like had a bunch of money and she bought me. We did not, and she got
G.I. Joe's
Spider-Man.
Oh,
I lost
the one that went like this.
He had
with opposable wrist.
He had web wings.
What?
Oh my god!
Do you have a string you could like swing them around?
So
that's awesome.
Sick. Oh my god!
The toys at that time were just better.
Batman was.
You
know how many different Batmans were out there? You could get purple and silver metal armor reflective Batman. You could get like
true. You get like
the like a freaking actual like muck villain, dude. There was like so
how about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle action figures?
TMNT
was my go-to.
Legos were fire, dude. Legos were honestly, they're way up there.
Those when they had aliens and like cowboys, and
that was when they had like they had like colonial sets. Like those are like my favorite. Star Wars they had at the time.
Pirates, they had
Pirates. Top tier. That is
top tier Legos.
Way up there. Oh my god, yeah.
They used to have guns and stuff. Now they don't.
They did. Yeah. We had all kinds.
Remember action figures? The coolest action figures were the ones that like shot a missile or had a gun that shot something.
And then they came with like barrels that you could stack. And then
they took out too many eyeballs, dude.
Be a Joker. Bye. Like,
that's a good commercial, Paul. Good job.
I would have made a lot of money
it's the Joker. Take him out, Batman.
Batarang. He throws it like this.
Like it's just an actual batarang. Dude, I had a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle that shot pizzas. Like he was holding a pizza like here, and you would load it in his back, and then it would just go like shoot out.
They were thin crust, extra crispy.
Are you disappearing slowly?
Dude, that's awesome.
And they would shoot crawlers at velocity too.
Creepy crawlers.
I did have a creepy crawler machine. That was living in luxury.
Yeah. Hot Wheels were fire, actually. A little bit younger than 10, maybe, but Hot Wheels were.
When you built the track all around your house. Like,
oh my god, yeah.
You go up the wall and come back down.
Like we'd be like clipping the launch pad up to like the eaves on the freaking roof.
I had friends that would have like
Power Rangers.
They'd have all the parts, Power Rangers. I did not.
Remember the gloves that would play the music and go whoosh, whoosh,
and their head would flip into their chest, and they would like the head would flip over. It would be their human head, and then it would be the helmet.
Oh yeah, yep. Do you remember
Transformers? Transformers.
Those were
all of them.
Those were actually super sick. Actually.
Those were they were good, especially
Pog,
the Beast
Wars for sure. Pog for sure. What about the faces that would open up and be worlds like Mad Max?
My
God, Mad Max is like my whole imagination is just Mad Max with nothing else. There's nothing else,
dude.
All right, well that was fun. I have the last one here.
I see lawn darts.
Lawn darts.
This is your parents hoping
we had a set.
They get.
I was throwing them at trees and such. Yeah, we had the old metal set. Yeah,
just throwing
them as spears and stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
That's insane. Okay, so one thing I've noticed in like the last like 3 months is like there's this weird theme, especially like in social media for sure, fishing, where people are like they're super hardcore. Like I only fish when 1 degree and it's raining and it's snowing and it's raining fire, and that's the only time I go out fishing. And if I don't catch anything and have no fun, great, that's why I'm there. And I'm like, the hell, like why in God? It's like a theme, like it's a thing right now where people like I had my foot sliced open into oblivion ice fishing, and I decided to stop fishing, and people were like, oh, How dare you stop fishing?
You should have kept fishing, you coward. But
my
they said,
fun hobby
nice
that I decided to not do for like an hour.
Slit my boot open and there's blood all over and my feet are
I
full.
literally bled for my boot for like an hour. But
They said
someone's
it
like, you
wasn't-
should have used
yeah.
duct tape and kept fishing. I'm like,
No,
there's no bluegill.
You should have sewed it
There's
yourself.
no bluegill. That makes me want to stay out there. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I caught 6 fish that day. They're like, you should have stayed.
What's wrong with you people? Like, you do know that like it's supposed to be fun. You don't have to murder yourself to enjoy this. I find it it was like a whole theme, and I found it very weird this whole winter.
But I mean, you're also a coward, so
there's always that.
You should have stayed out there, you friggin' coward. I don't know. That is really weird. That's a really weird flex.
It was odd.
Is what the kids would say.
I have no fun.
All right.
It is great.
Cool.
What?
Proud of you, bud.
Okay. I'm going to stay warm and watch TV and hang out with my kids. I don't know what you're doing.
I'll see myself out.
Exactly. I had to piss away like $300 in gas. I don't know.
Yep. Thanks. Bye.
All right. That's all I got for you guys.
Like, is that Debo? Is that like the attitude in Iowa at all for you guys?
Well, I don't understand where that started. So what was the beginning of what you were saying? I didn't get the.
There's like a weird thing. Like I would see like people like posting on social media for fishing, like especially like the beginning and the middle of winter, where it was like a lot of the posts that I would see are people being like, if you don't go out when it's like the most miserable conditions, then you're not even a fisherman. Like you're a hobby fisherman, which is bad, by the way.
That's just people that are not confident. They got something to prove.
Yeah.
It's so weird to me. It's a weird, and I've never really seen it like to that level where like everyone's like, there's a guy, like with like his fingers are rotting away because they're frozen. He's like,
it's the
but
David
look at this. I did the Eddie's drowning. And he's like, this is great. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I suppose so.
Yeah.
It's literally David Goggins.
That's fair, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
God dang.
All right, rad. Well, it's been fun tonight, you guys. We handled a lot of controversies and we settled a lot of universal arguments. You're welcome for that. Thanks to Debo for hanging out with us tonight.
Yeah. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, had a freaking blast, man. So if you guys don't follow Debo, what are you doing? Figure your life out. Go follow Debo.
There'll be more ASMR stuff. That video went over like a lead balloon.
That.
So
I thought it was great.
I thought it was cool.
None
of my subscribers did, except for the 10 people that watched the video. So
I think you did a great job too.
I was like, sometimes you gotta go on a limb and try something.
The framing was outstanding. I think you deserve an Oscar for that.
I say do more things like that.
I agree.
Yeah, I don't know.
Try something else.
Once a month, throw us a bone.
Yeah, do it.
Maybe members only.
Or don't. Members only is a good
while
place.
I do ASMR cleaning.
I love that shit. I thought it was great.
It wasn't as good as watching a guy clean hooves. I will agree with people.
What could be? Are you kidding me?
That's that weird satisfaction thing. Everybody scratches that satisfaction.
What you need is like a reel that's like truly just coated in so much gunk. Like, you need to do it. Like, Debo, go to like a flea market and buy the shittiest reel you can find and do it like those guys who like clean cars.
Cool. Yeah.
You rust it and like add new parts.
Yeah,
and, like,
that's true. I've seen those.
That would be the shit.
Restoration. Yeah, it'd be a restoration.
That would be
funny
cool
things the whole time, and I'm real funny and cool.
No, don't be funny or cool. Just
okay. The reel. Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
No, for sure. I love it. I think that would sell. I'm down.
There's people in chat saying do it again. So do it again. Find a different way that you want to approach it.
But do it again, but just not. We still like you, but don't do that ever again.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Well, I say do it again. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. Like I said, go follow Debo's Fishing everywhere that you can find him. Instagram, YouTube, all the places. It's great. He's got great content. We love him, and we'll have him back. We'll have it back sooner than we did this time. It was too big of a gap. We'll have to do this again. And then we'll be on Debo's live.
Yeah. Once you nerds decide on a date, we need to figure out when we're not kissing and when we can actually come on a live.
When we take a break from kissing.
A lot harder than you would think.
All right. Well, we got stuff to do, you guys. We'll talk to you later. We'll see you next Wednesday. And members, we'll see you March 11th. Love you guys. Chaz, take us out of here.